Welcome everyone to another RDB Reviews with Ryan, the author of RDB Reviews, WordPress.com. Ryan has been talking a lot of South Park and he's watching a program called Entourage at the moment, which we'll hear about from Ryan later on when he's finished watching it. Yeah. But right now, Ryan is going to tell us what he'd like to talk about.
Yeah, which is South Park Season 21 from 2017. I'm not going to explain the names, you already seen it on the screen, because literally Matt Stone and Trey Parker are like the main people voicing them. They voice about like 50% of the characters in the show.
Talking about the kids' voices as well as the adults, and I can recognize Trey Parker's voice when he's voicing Randy, but I don't know about the kids. I assume that they take their turns or they do their best impression, or I don't know. It's wonderful.
Matt and Trey are probably just good comedians.
They're great. Well, they invented the characters, so they know exactly how they should sound. Your plot synopsis for season 21 of South Park tackles issues like North Korea, Facebook, and superhero movies. Meanwhile, Cartman continues his relationship with Heidi, but the couple have their ups and downs. Other storylines include Timmy and Jimmy creating a science project that might save the world, a witch causes trouble during South Park's Halloween, and Stan gets blamed for an opiate crisis in South Park. This season was bad. Pros: it was fun seeing the kids playing superheroes again for one episode. Eric Cartman was back in top form. Randy was so funny this season. They do tackle topics like Netflix and the MCU, and the finale ended with a cliffhanger. The cons: the first half from this season was going back to their old roots, but the episodes with its old formula didn't work. The plot lines this season and jokes felt a bit flat. Definitely the Heidi Cartman love angle sucks, and I felt the finale of this season was out of left field. Ryan recommends the season on anything to those who are diehard South Park fans. So you rated this one 3 out of 10.
Yes.
I'm looking at your voice casting, Ryan. You've mentioned who does the voices, and it looks like a lady called April Stewart does... Oh, Leanne Cartman. So that's Cartman's mum, is it?
Yeah.
For a minute, I was thinking, does she do Cartman? That would have been weird.
Well, I think she tries her voice by a woman.
And you rate this 3 out of 10?
Yes. First off, I think after watching it, I just got a feeling just I thought bad. Which is a shame because throughout the last 20 seasons run of South Park, it doesn't feel like it landed an impact on me that much. Other than, spoiler alert, Heidi had fallen out with Cartman because they realised she was, Cartman is manipulating her. Be more like him. But they end up like the entire school wanted her out.
What's so bad about her? Is she worse than Cartman?
Not really, but I'm that interesting as a character. And like throughout the season she tried to do everything to make Cartman happy. And you
I feel bad for her already.
The actual picture of it of your iPad, then you'll get the expression what I'm referring to.
See, right, so this is Heidi down there, yeah?
Yep, you got it.
Thank you, Ryan. And she didn't feature in South Park before this storyline, did she? Is she invented just Batman?
Well, yeah, and probably just a forced character, so they could think of something for Cartman to do.
That's the impression you were giving. We love Cartman being the way he is, but I've not watched 20 series of South Park like you have. Maybe Cartman gets a bit stale and they needed to change him. I don't know.
Yeah, but they just quickly realised, oh no, what have we done? Cartman is like one of the most popular characters and probably this storyline not going anywhere. Probably just build it up to like basically they turn something into a positive way. As in, let's just get rid of her season. Be good for Cartman because he's back to his form, rare form. And just a complete douchebag.
Perfect. Just how we want him. Cartman's such a strange character to have a relationship because he's so hateful. I can't imagine him being tender, but he looks sad, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
I don't know if he's like, I want to get out of this, or if he's, I don't know, looking at himself in the mirror and going, I'm not a very nice person. You mentioned left field. You put that in your review. It's very left field for Cartman to suddenly have a romantic attachment. So you're happy to have him back?
Yes.
Good. Okay,
Because
cool.
they should have done that to begin with.
Well, maybe, Ryan, it's better that he went through that and now they
Yeah.
can make jokes about it. You know, yeah, he's been there. He's done that. He's back to himself.
Yeah. On to another character, Wendy.
Yay.
He was hilarious in this season.
Yeah.
And actually, other than just the boys being themselves, which is mad,
Yeah.
Wendy actually some memorable moments this season. Like in the first episode, they did like really much his version of DIY SOS, but trying to help the self of like get them healthy home after redneck guy. You know the show with the big beard? We say,
No,
they took our jobs.
I'm thinking of Kenny's dad, but I can't think of any other redneck characters. But I've not watched it in a long time.
He did like a feature like couple seasons, couple the episode this season, excuse me. And yeah, Wendy like trying to do a lot of stuff me. And one with the superheroes, well, that was really enjoyable. With the Conan friends back in their superhero costumes.
I was going to mention the coon because it's a racist term and Cartman doesn't get that he's using it. That's from a previous series, isn't it? Being that character. And they brought that back into this.
Yeah, so they like, what's reference? And like, well, we got to promote the game with the Thrasher butthole. So that's why they just dedicate an entire episode to it.
So there's a game, South Park game, that would be connected to that episode, do you think?
Which is the Thrasher butthole. One for the PS4.
Cool. You mentioned, Ryan, and I can't recall what series it is now. Maybe it was number 16 or something, but you mentioned that they were promoting a game at the time, and that might explain why the episodes weren't written very well, because the makers are focused on promotion of other media. So might that explain why this series isn't as great?
Well, yeah, and also, this season had like a few gems, like the superhero episode, Cartman being himself again, Randy's getting himself in a sticky situation, and other than that, not really that much to go around, really.
Your description makes it sound like one of the older series because you talk about Facebook, North Korea, so it sounds like every episode does a different satirical thing. And you don't like that as much as you liked PC Principal and the ongoing storyline.
Oh yeah, in this season, he's actually started to affect feelings for the new female school principal.
So is Principal Victoria back in Series 21?
No, I think it's a new character called Strong Lady.
Strong Lady. Okay, because I noticed in your review that you list Principal Victoria as being voiced by April Stewart. So, yeah, that suggests that she pops up somewhere, Principal Victoria.
Well, not really pop up, but they do like mention her. Since then, nothing else. A quick mention of her and that's it.
So April Stewart would have been voicing her in previous series, but not in this one.
No.
Okay, and Strong Lady, who's that?
I was like the new female school teacher for like our little brother Ike, you know, with the little babies.
Kindergarten, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
And was she hired by PC Principal then?
Yeah, by all the school people, just trying to lose my mind. It's been such a little while.
Dude, yeah, South Park must have taken its toll on you. No one comes out the same.
So I had to do it, and that was me.
So I appreciate, so Ryan will have watched this a while ago, and he's written his review, quite a while ago actually, a few weeks ago. So for me to ask you questions now is asking you to think back quite some time.
Yeah.
We've covered South Park quite a lot in these interviews, and I think if people are following these videos, they get the gist. So basically, this has gone back to the formula before season 19, as Ryan very brilliantly explained previous interviews. South Park had a formula which was a sketch show thing right up until 2016, and then they did this story arc with PC Principal where it basically stuck to the same set of characters and the same set of issues episode to episode. And now it's gone back to every episode is about a different thing, and you don't like that as much.
Well, no, but like it's interrupt like sentences. Well, okay, I know people hate this last scene of it just focus on one storyline, but at least they stayed in consistence from like season 19 upwards to 20. I get they did have like a little bit, but not really good. So basically what I'm trying to say is some of the episodes are not really that memorable, except the episode Cool Friends.
Okay, and that was just a one-off. That was a throwback to that character. Maybe as a way of showing Cartman's back, saying Cartman's himself.
Only characters like Cartman as the Coon, which is like this show version of Batman.
Yeah, the raccoon is what it's based on. Yeah.
Instead
a raccoon.
Instead of his parents getting shot, it's explain the story. Batman way.
I love it. I love the coon in previous episodes because it's very Batman-like and he keeps skulking around. And everyone's like, Cartman, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Stop whispering.
And there's one like called Twisting Crunch. Oh yeah, Man.
So this is 2018, so we're really catching up with the modern age.
Yeah.
The plot. The series began teasing a set of commercials about a mock cancellation by Comedy Central by using the hashtag #CancelSouth. Similar to the previous season, the season features continuing elements and recurring storylines without adhering to a linear story arc, while lampooning several phenomena such as school shootings in the United States, modern political correctness, climate change denial, and the working conditions and monopolistic tactics of Amazon. Several characters in the show also express disdain and exasperation with South Park's constant attraction to controversy and surreal occurrences. Ryan says, I was looking forward to this season to see what's going to happen this time. This new season of South Park was pretty good. As I enjoy their commentary on issues like school shootings in the United States, modern political correctness, climate change denial, and the working conditions, these are complicated, hard subjects to tackle. The four main kids have grown maturity this season. There's a lot of dramatic and gruesome moments, and I like the nod to Stranger Things, and some of the older characters came back. That was the pros. Ryan says on the cons, the build-up and the execution of the Man-Bear-Pig storyline was disappointing. A few episodes that led to nothing, and I was pretty mad that the main cast didn't learn the lessons from last season. Ryan says he highly recommends watching the other seasons of the show before seeing this on Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, old episodes on your SkyQ box or on DVD Blu-ray. You've made the point that people should watch South Park previous series before watching this one. So you think people should be like you, they should watch all of it?
Yeah, because I'm of fear of if we start with this season, they're going to go, what are these boys are doing? What the hell?
That was a point I was making. Yeah, which is that I might watch South Park in the year 2018 and be like, what? Because I've not watched it for a long time, so I don't follow. You mentioned a lot in here, Ryan. There's a lot that we could talk about. So, for one thing, cancel South Park, hashtag. That's quite funny. So they're kind of referring to the fact that they're controversial and that there's this thing on the internet now, but also in public speaking, where people cancel a controversial figure, someone that they don't agree with. They cancel them by protesting their speaking or by boycotting, by encouraging people to boycott a thing.
Which I think they should stop.
Yeah, it's not very productive.
I know, but also there's like people just wasting their lives.
Pretty much. If you've got a problem with something, don't watch it. If it's that controversial, then do something other than cancel it. I mean, canceling stuff, it's a double-edged sword. You can go around canceling things that you don't like, but then someone that you don't like can start canceling things that you do like. And there's a thing, Ryan, where in America there's such hatred between Republicans and Democrats, and no one can agree to just talk in a nice way. And this cancel culture thing feels like an extension of that. People are not willing to talk, have dialogue. They're just like, oh, you're cancelled. And I don't like it.
Me either.
But the South Park makers are making fun of it as well. They're saying, we don't like it either. And we think South Park should be cancelled.
Yeah. Which which is glad they're finally like self-aware
Yeah.
of their own product.
Yeah, they know that it's upsetting people and they don't care, or that's for them, that's a win. And I don't think they're ever too over the top. I don't know whether they've done episodes about issues that have really upset people or if it's just the swearing. Yeah. Ever since the Scientology thing with Chef.
Tom Cruise.
Oh, of course, with Tom Cruise, yeah, packing fudge. I don't know whether Tom Cruise actually sued them because they had that joke, you mentioned it, where a lot of the people that get lampooned try and take a lawsuit against the program.
South Park.
But if I was Tom Cruise, I would just accept that you're going to get made fun of because you're famous. And to try and take people to court or complain is just silly.
The same thing I was saying about the Kardashians.
Right. Only makes life worse for you. If you don't want that attention, then don't feed the beast, you know.
I know. See what you mean. I did say, yeah, the Man-Bear Pig storyline as its, like, execution was very disappointing.
Okay.
It's a bit like with season 10, with this funny narration of Al Gore.
Yeah.
It's like trying to like mysterious of Man-Bear Pig. Like they've been building for years.
Yeah.
Or basically like 2 decades of seasons. They tied out Man-Bear Pig is real. Or don't believe he's even a Sith.
Can I give a quick bit of context, Ryan? So Al Gore did a PowerPoint presentation called Inconvenient Truth, and it's all about climate change, and it's about how we're not paying attention and we're all going downhill. Al Gore became like the spokesman for climate change issues, and he was trying to convince everyone that it's a real problem and we all need to pay attention to it. In fact, his documentary has now been pointed out that he made some falsehoods. He said some over-the-top things that weren't true. Like all the ice will be melted at the Arctic by 2010, and that didn't happen. But I think Man-Bear Pig is South Park's way of saying we're making fun of the fact that he's complaining about this scary thing that exists, and he's convincing people it exists, but people aren't convinced it exists. So Man-Bear Pig is like a really easy way of summing up climate change. It's a weird.
Very much. And even like in one of the games you can play it, you can like do a side mission involved Al Gore about the disappearance of Man-Bear Pig throughout the Stick of Truth.
Oh, cool.
And it's ended up with you at the fight in his own headquarters near the Carberry.
Is this Al Gore or Man-Bear Pig?
Al Gore.
Good.
The Man-Bear Pig didn't show up in the game at all.
Because he doesn't exist. In Imagination Land, Man-Bear Pig suddenly appears because it's all about your imagination.
Yeah.
And so it's Al Gore's imagination invents Man-Bear, makes it real. Yeah.
And also, throughout his crazy conspiracies, he does get a lot of the children in trouble. Almost had the kids die in the mountain of like a school trip they do.
Mm-hmm.
Or they probably, like almost like at the end of Imagination Land, he set on a blooming nuke.
Yeah.
Into Imagination Land. And they almost killed it, but Butters saved the day by the power of imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought is a great storyline.
That's so clever to use that because the whole climate change denial thing, it's suggesting that it's all made up. You know, it's all in people's imagination. It's not real. And there's more and more evidence that it is real, but people can still pretend it's not real. So it's a really great pick on.
But I did like the way Al Gore did came back in this 2-part episodes.
Yeah.
Where Al Gore shows up, like, he's been a long time since he's been on the show. He had like this long beard. Like I don't think he's aged that much last time I saw him. But he's like just given up.
Yeah,
like,
people have stopped listening to him.
Seriously.
Yeah. There's a really funny bit, Ryan. I can't know if it's Imagination Land or a previous episode where Al Gore is trying to talk to the kids and Randy like calls them over and says, kids, I don't want you talking to that ex-president. And Stan's like, Dad, I don't think he has any friends. It's really sweet.
Well, I think people will say that about every politician these days. They're
Yeah.
public speakers, man. They're like, who are you? You're a bunch of strangers.
Pretty much. I think Al Gore is a preacher in the sense that he's preaching do-gooding, and that rubs people the wrong way. You know, Al Gore is basically going around saying everyone needs to change the way they live because I tell you to, because you're a bad person. And that just rubs people wrong. So
Yeah.
it's not surprising that he's not taken seriously.
When he heard about Member Pig from the kids, he started to put his red tape back on and learn more about Member Pig and finish him once and for all.
I love that. He wears a
Which
red
he
cape.
then-
He flies around.
Which is like learning from the power of the internet.
Hmm. Yeah.
And it said like he from summoned from the depths of hell. And that lead up to him going to a library to try to learn the secret texts of bringing back Satan to South Park.
We haven't seen Satan for a long time in South Park. Yeah.
To actually deal with Man Bear Pig once and for all. Actually helping the tie down get rid of him.
Satan helps South Park get rid of Man Bear Pig.
Yes.
Is that in season
Basically.
22 then?
Yeah, 22.
Right,
The one
cool.
I've got right now.
Yeah, thank you,
And
Ryan.
cover.
Nice one. Oh, I see. Perfect. Yeah, lovely.
Which is basically like a half-minute, 2-minute reenactment of the fight from the Incredible Hulk movie from 2010 between Hulk and Abomination.
Okay,
But
because you mentioned that there's MCU or superhero references in one episode at least. Yeah.
Yeah, like example, with the Abomination and the Hulk, the walls are reversed. It's Satan, which is the Incredible Hulk, and the Abomination is Man Bear Pig,
Yeah.
which they did copy the fight. Like, ugh, running forward and trying to punch each other in the air.
Yeah.
And shockingly, Satan died.
Oh no. Man Bear Pig wins.
Yeah, and sadly Satan had now basically joined heaven.
Oh.
Yeah,
What will Saddam Hussein do? I mean, he's on his own now.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And that led South Park being more dangerous than never before.
So is Man Bear Pig like still roaming in the woods of South Park then? Well, is he still out
Yes.
there?
Yes, killing everyone.
Wow. If only we'd listened to Al Gore.
Yeah, like years ago, but sometimes these people in this show are just freaking mad
Yeah.
and so chaotic of what to do.
They don't get a chance, do they? The
No.
makers don't let up because there's a giant nuclear missile shooting in the previous series. Sorry, season 22 doesn't have any nukes. But yeah, just when it looks like everything's going to calm down, there's the North Koreans and then there's the internet and yeah.
And go through something else.
Okay, so are we finished with 22, right?
Well, you are just going to mention a little bit more quickly.
Please do.
Today is about, some of the older characters do come back to the very end for just like a celebration party. But the other thing I'll say is, when I said about, there is no consequences for some of these characters, definitely from Kyle. If you read back last, he pretty much nuked Canada because that's no purpose for his character, because his character, which is Jewish, and his half-brother, which is Canadian. And when he did that, he betrayed, his second brother upbringing and his very Jewishness.
Why does Kyle nuke Canada, Ryan?
Well,
Or is that very
No,
complicated to explain?
it's trying to be their version. You know, like the Me Too people, when they say, why don't we Canadians suck? Immigration should be for the society. Basically, try and be like this person's millennials.
And that's Kyle, who is championing immigration.
Yeah. Why did people ban than Canada. Basically, it's like copying the same storyline from Carl's mum from Bigger, Longer and Uncut.
I was just going to say, because that was all Kyle's mum pushing for Terence and Philip to be executed, or however that works out.
But this one
Canada
was Kyle last season.
Interesting.
And now he's finally like dealing with the consequences as well.
Okay.
Of like booming Canada.
Blame Canada.
Yeah, pretty much.
You mentioned from last season, so are there things to do with immigration and Canada in season 21 that 22 is dealing with?
No, I think this is just Carl being a naughty boy. Realise, what have I done? I've done something I didn't mean to do. About the consequences. Now, like, he's lost his touch like reality a few times. These kids as well, they do go through maturity this season.
You mentioned, so what does that mean, Ryan?
They reflecting themselves, like, we do have good times.
Looking back on past episodes.
Like, and realise, like, they going through changes a lot in their lives. Like example, Stan and his family, about being in the middle of all this drama with his family, which is Randy, Stan's mum, and Shelly. Instead, they decided we're going to sell the house and just get away from this crazy town.
Oh no!
Think about what's best for them for their future. And they decided to move up to a small little farm called Southberry Farm.
Yeah.
So Randy can start his own company, which is selling weed.
Yay. Good man. Yeah.
Yeah. And guess who was his partner?
Who?
Tally.
Wait, who?
Tally. The talking towel.
Oh, good towel. Yeah. You're a towel. It's been years since I've heard of that character, Ryan.
Well, yeah. But instead, well, he does still smoke weed.
Of course. I remember Towley is a big stoner, yeah.
Yeah, he'll get high all the time. But also, he decided to use that as a way of think about, like, Oxycontin weed, to, like, sell to the locals. And that means step away from Randy's family so much.
Okay, so Randy's still in the... Sorry, Ryan. Ice cream truck again.
Oh, don't worry, that's just ice cream.
Either I cut that out or we'll just have this musical interlude every Monday in our episodes.
Well, Monday's the one more day of the week. Definitely on Monday morning.
I just want to say, Ryan, so I mentioned in our second or third interview regarding season 13, you were talking about legalization, that Randy was all pro-legalized marijuana. And I was saying they have legalized it in Colorado. So I'm not surprised that the makers have gone the full hog and made Randy a weed farmer. That's perfect.
Yeah, which it does good. Leading up to season 23.
On your review blog, you've got a picture of Randy looking like a farmer, leaning up against a sign. So I was waiting.
Basically, just it's the main focus of the season.
Oh, cool. Number 23, do you mean? Yeah. So we talked about cancel culture, hashtag cancel South Park. We've done political correctness a lot with regards to PC principle. So school shootings in the United States, that's obviously a very dark subject.
The first episode.
I believe, I might be wrong about this, but I think Trey Parker and Matt Stone went to Columbine High School, which if you've seen the Michael Moore documentary, basically Columbine is where the school shooting happened in 1999. There's a Michael Moore documentary about it where Matt Stone is interviewed in the program, and he talks about having gone to that high school and that they were only a few years, out of high school when that happened. So they almost have a personal experience of a high school shooting.
And that was the focus of the first episode, which is, like you said, about gun shooting.
Yeah.
And like how people's response to it.
In 2018, you had Donald Trump saying all the teachers should have guns and maybe the kids should have guns. He was like making the problem 10 times worse. Let's put more guns into school. And I don't know whether South Park are addressing Donald Trump's response to it or if they're just responding to it themselves.
basically they got basically a lot of America these days about when there's a gun shooting,
Yeah.
people just don't make a fuss about it. Because more of this keeps happening, and they just stuck it out the plug.
Right. Is that what the episode is about? Is it about them just pretending it's not a big deal?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Interesting. You've got the working conditions of monopolistic tactics of Amazon. So does an Amazon depot come by, or how does Amazon...
Yeah, that's the last couple of episodes of the season, which is basically like one of them like trying to get a normal job.
Yeah.
As in like any dad like working there.
That would make perfect sense. Penny's dad would work there, sorry.
And basically like it's their like way of what's going on in the world where like Amazon is moving to a new location. Like they're like moving to New York, building a new place there so they can ship their stuff for free.
Yeah.
But it's not what they seem it to be.
They've done episodes about evil Disney Corporation and evil Facebook. Basically, these big companies, Apple, that's what we did Apple with the centipad, didn't we? So they have a way of tackling these big corporations that on the surface look very friendly, but really they're very dark. My understanding of Amazon depots is that people have like 15-hour shifts. They're not allowed to go to the toilet.
I just finally realised, you know what, at least they are working with the other dads in South Park. They're the ones saying Amazon is taking our jobs away.
Yeah.
Because before got families food on the kitchen tables than that. Basically they are addressing this about financial crisis of like people can't work, can't be paid or feed.
There's a lot to pack in. How many episodes, Ryan? Is it still 10 episodes in these?
10 episodes, because they like scaled it down.
Yeah.
Which is basically still going on to this day.
Wonderful. Okay, so yeah, there's so many topics. Can you imagine, Ryan, what they're writing now about coronavirus? What will South Park look like under the pandemic?
I can imagine.
I can only imagine Cartman's running around coughing on people.
Yeah, but some people will come away saying, don't forget should be in social distancing from each other.
Yeah, because they can have the kids out of school, they can have social distancing.
Sometimes I can't help but just make a funny about it, but that's just my way of just trying to deal with bad situations.
I've just got my sensible hat on, Ryan. I just feel like saying, oh, it's a serious thing, but if comedians can make fun of it, that's probably healthy for all of us. If we can all have a bit of a laugh in the right way without it being cruel or whatever. I'm sure they'll find it. They have to mention it because it's a global changing thing. South Park has to deal with it, but maybe it's too soon. I was going to ask Ryan, so this is 2018, series 22. Yeah. When we first spoke about doing these reviews back in April, I think it was, you said that there were 23 seasons. Now, does it stop at 23 or is the 24 out?
Passing season 23, yes. They stopped doing it by then.
Yeah.
It's like pre-coronavirus.
Yeah.
Like months ago.
I'm hoping we get to talk about 23 next at some point, and then it'll be a case of waiting for new South Park.
Yeah. And just before we finish, I just going to quickly mention about Hitman. Each episodes are like cinematic.
Okay, lovely. So they're like mini films in the way that they're filmed or the way the story is. I like when things are cinematic, Ryan. So Ryan has just mentioned Hitman, which I am used to being a video game. It was a movie with Timothy Oliphant. In fact, I think there's been 2 movies of Hitman.
I sadly I saw the latest one, which was not that good.
Hitman, the complete first season, 2016, but PS4 video game. So is it a game or is it a TV?
Well, yeah, it is a game, but you actually look at it visually, it looks like a TV show, but it's like an actual game, a cinematic game.
That's what you mean. Okay, because it says the complete first season on the graphic that you've got.
Yeah.
And that's very confusing to me because if it's a game, then it's not episodes unless you play an episode and then it loads the next episode when you finish playing it.
Stop playing one episode and then move on to the next one.
I'm so glad you explained that to me because Ryan has written or has sourced this amazing summary of the game going back to 1999 to the present day. Cool. So this is PS4. So this came out 2016. Ryan has listed the episodes in his review and the date that they relate to. I think this is one that will need playing to fully understand this immersive cinematic quality.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's still a RPG or a kind of a...
Yeah. It's like
shooter.
what you like in the mind of an actual assassin.
So you're still playing Agent 47, who is the bold character.
Yeah,
okay.
near way, yeah.
We'll put this in the description as well. We haven't had a long chance to talk about this, and if you want to come back to this one in the future, we can do that.
No, we can always just talk next Monday about Wacky Races.
In the last video we did, Ryan was talking about Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion, which is a fighting game. And Ryan quickly mentioned Wacky Races as well. So I featured the review for Wacky Races in that video as well. But if we're going to talk about it next week, I'll feature it in that as well.
Which I will say, which is a fine traditional racing game.
That one's a racing game. Fantastic. I'm so glad it is because Wacky Races is about racing. Yeah.
Which it captures like the spirit of the show, really.
Have you seen the show? Have you seen Wacky Races?
Yeah, I got it with my grandma, got the VHS of that years ago.
Do you have a favourite character or vehicle? Can you remember?
Well, the Bonnie Moss story, at Jim Hart, Dick Dastardly Muttley, Lady Penelope.
What was your favourite?
Oh, I had to go with the two, Caveman brothers.
Is that Captain Caveman, sorry?
Well, the sort of like that.
The two brothers.
I know.
The
Snack and Rack or something, weren't they called something?
Okay, my favourite one is Lady Penelope.
I'm remembering it all now, Ryan. There's one that's a bit like the Addams Family, I think. There's a car that's like the Addams Family mansion, and it has all the creepy characters. That was my favourite vehicle.
I'm going to say, all your favourite races from the show are feature and you can control them in this game.
Yeah.
Which is everything from the sound, the way the characters and the graphics and settings look.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much everything like a show, but like video game.
Shall we talk the nuts and bolts of it next week, Ryan? Where you can play it, what year it came out, that kind of thing. Should we continue to talk about Wacky Races next week?
Yeah, why not?
Wonderful. All right, man. Ryan, thank you so much for continuing the South Park saga and for fitting a few other things in. We're doing one video recording a week now, and so I will speak to Ryan again about his review blogs next Monday. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.